A very successive administration has grappled with the challenge of effecting reforms in Nigeria's justice sector, and so far there's been some level of achievement here and there. Having a system of independent courts and tribunals that administer justice efficiently is one of the cornerstones of Nigeria's democracy. Finding the balance between judicial independence on one hand and public accountability on the other is a critical challenge. Like with the two arms of government, the other two arms of government, the judiciary faces certain inherent problems which show weaknesses and defects of the system. I mean, it was just this year or thereabout that or last year, we started hearing about raid on the homes of judges and trials of judges. Well, public accountability, that's public accountability, right? The overall objective of justice sector reforms is to build a justice system which is affordable, efficient, independent, transparent, professional, and accountable to Nigerians. Have we had it that way? The chairman of the Presidential Advisory Committee on Anti-Corruption, Ishe Sage, also expressed shock at the acquittal of some people in the public sector in court. How would all of this work out? Can the judiciary be said to be effective as it ought to be? Well, we have some people to help us answer some of these questions. Joining us from our studio in Abuja is a legal practitioner, Mr. Oscar Onwudiwe. Thank you for joining us. What would you say about the Nigerian judiciary right now?
That's a very wide, thank you very much, first of all. It's a very wide question, what I think of the Nigerian judiciary. Nigerian judiciary exists. Nigerian judiciary are doing what they're supposed to do. That's the way to answer you right now. But if you give me specific questions, then we'll go ahead and treat it.
Mr. Onwudiwe, I know you're a lawyer, so you try to dodge some of these questions. Okay, so how effective would you say the judiciary in Nigeria has been in the face of, in quotes, public accountability challenges they've had in the last couple of years?
I don't know whether you will actually say the last couple of years, or should we say in the last 2 years. In the last 2 years, where we've now beginning to notice something new in the country. We have arms of government, and then you have the executive made up of saints, and then you have the legislators that we abuse every day, and then we now have the judiciary, which we brought in to also blame. This is what is hurting. There are certain institutions that should be kept and protected. If things go bad, that's why you have the NJC. The NJC would work, and they've been doing a lot. We never bothered to find out what the NJC has been doing. A number of judges who have messed up, they've been disciplined, they've been recommended for dismissal. Many have been dismissed, the records are there, quietly. But you must preserve the sanctity of that institution, the judiciary. That's why you call them my lord. They are human beings. There are people who may be rotten among them, there are some of them that are not too good, but there are ways you remove them quietly without this show. That is, before you know it, they're there on the pages, because we have a highly image-driven government in place. They want a lot, they love the media so much, and they are making a lot of money for the media, sensationalizing everything. Does it make sense? It's as if what is better now, the only court we know that has integrity, is court of public opinion, with all the sentimentalities and all the subjectivities. It doesn't make sense. I don't even understand and then lawyers are partaking, particularly once they're in government. And do not forget, we have an executive in place today who, once you're part of the executive, you're given an insurance certificate. That insurance certificate is called BSE. BSE means blame someone else. Whenever anything goes wrong, those are the people that are causing it. So you have people who will not investigate. They're not well trained to investigate any matter properly. You have prosecutors who are lazy, they will not read well before they come out to do whatever they have to do. Then they lose their cases. Oh, the judiciary, they've messed us up. Because somebody has to be blamed. Now we're blaming the judiciary. If we refuse, it's like a child who is growing up not to respect their father, their parents. What are you going to get? Where exactly are we going? We rubbish the legislators, and it doesn't mean all of them are bad. There are some very, very good legislators in Nigeria. But if a few happen to be bad, then that's it, we generalize. Then we rubbish the judiciary. A few happen to be, there are lots of great judges in Nigeria. Brilliant. And they are not money conscious. But we brush all of them, you know, we paint all of them with one brush. Oh, the judiciary. Look at it. We're actually discussing judiciary. And how do we discuss it? Then you hear, oh, some professor somewhere said so. Some other person who is supposed to be presidential advisor on prosecution said so. Go and handle the case yourself. Go and do it. If you know what to do, do it. Don't find it out. Do it. It's becoming very embarrassing, and I don't like it. And I don't know why the NBA is not really screaming about this, because it's our profession they are putting online, and you rubbish the whole thing for what? Then where will the common man go? Come on television to say, this is my case, please, people judge for me. So for every case, we have an election. Who is right, who is wrong?
Oscar,
this is really my take. I feel bad about this.
Yeah, you said that the NJC is doing a lot.
A lot.
Yeah, and most of it is not seen to us.
Correct.
But I recall that Justice said at one time that election tribunals are making billionaire judges and billionaire lawyers. Is the NJC able to wrap its head around that one? And is it doing anything about these people who make a song and dance about these very public cases?
Okay, thank you, Alero. First of all, understand how a judge works. A judge will not come, leave his chambers to come and say, I know to go and check anybody's account. You bring cases before the judge will decide based on what is before him. The same with the NJC. If there's no report to the NJC, how will they know that you're making billions? They don't work in the banks. How would they know? And if people keep this on the wrap, they keep quiet, the politicians are mainly the ones that will corrupt these people. If they do it and there is this code of silence amongst all of them, the lawyers make the money, they keep quiet, the judges are making the money and they keep quiet, what do you want the NJC to do? They can't. But if somebody will find out, just like you mentioned, and it's not just hearsay, if you have proof, you make a report to the NJC, they will investigate, they know how to do it. And once they do that investigation and they find out, they will recommend dismissal. They've been doing this. You remember the case of Egbo. There are so many judges like that have gone. You'll be shocked that the NJC have made recommendations on a number of judges to some governors and even to the presidency, and recommending them for dismissal or reprimand till today. If they like those ones, they'll do nothing about it. At the end of the day, the ball stops on the office of the executive. And it's the same members of the executive who will be complaining. We must get those facts correct. How do judges work? And they're not the type, you don't expect the judge to start hanging around the media, saying one thing or the other. No, it's not them. It's a conservative profession. So they cannot be part of the craze. So the NJC, I know for sure, they are doing their job the way the law says they should do it.
Okay.
And it pains me that people who are not well prepared will just come there and begin to castigate a number of gentlemen. I keep saying that we have some judges that they have problems. They are human. In every society, you have the good, the bad, the ugly. But you can fish them out, and they are not in majority in the Nigerian judiciary. That's the point I'm making.
Okay.